HB 1300, the blueprint for Maryland's future. This is also known as the Kirwan legislation. Did we receive anything on this requesting council to offer an opinion?
That would be me.
Other than Mrs. Price, did we receive anything else?
That's everything. Does that matter?
Not that I'm aware of. I believe Ms. Price asked for it to be put on.
I asked for it a couple of weeks ago, but I will keep this quite targeted because it has passed to the Senate. It has moved very rapidly through the House. Hundreds of amendments were offered. Only about 65 were deemed quality, so shall we say, to move through the House. And so that, I mean, it was just all done in a matter of days. So they passed that Friday night. I watched all of those hearings, floor amendments, all of that stuff that happened on Friday. They sent it over to the Senate, and Monday, what's today? Today's Tuesday. Monday they did a bill walkthrough with the amendments that were incorporated in the House. So there was an amendment that they tried to get through the House that had to do with median household income. Delegate Greist had offered it during the week. It was not one of those selected. It was offered again from Delegate Jacobs from the floor on Friday and promptly voted down. Two senators are proposing a median household income amendment, worded slightly different. They're still working that out. Tomorrow, those will be offered, and then they will be voted on Thursday. So specifically, median household income, I think we've all talked for 10 years or so about the wealth formula being unfair to counties like Talbot, Kent, Worcester, who might have high property values, but the divisor is the number of children. The number of children we educate has nothing to do with our wealth. And there are many counties who are well below the median household income. So what the senators are working on, and the language is pretty close, and that's why I was late to the meeting, so I apologize. I was actually on the phone with Senator Carrozza. She was going over the language with me. Basically what it would say is for the current funding through today, it would retain the wealth formula that exists, property plus income divided by the number of kids. For any additional dollars that are required because of Kirwan or maintenance of effort, and I'll get to the second one, that would be done on a factor of median household income. Talbot County is 18% below the median income, so I think that all you guys really need to know is that it would give more state dollars to Talbot County and similar counties so that we don't have to foot the whole bill. The price tag between the state and the county stays the same, but the difference is instead of Talbot County having to foot the 75% of the bill, we would get additional state dollars, which is what we've been talking about for years. So what I would like the council to do is to please offer a letter of support for the median household income amendment that will be offered tomorrow. This is what we've been asking for 10 years.
Well, Mr. Pack, you were asking also, and thank you very much for that information. And yes, that is something that we have been trying to fight for forever. It makes sense to try to balance things out. I've received one correspondence with the Teachers Association. I would certainly like the opportunity to have more time, and I would like to schedule a work session, because that's a popular thing to do tonight, with the Board of Education and with Kelly Griffith to go through Kirwan and see what exactly what we're expecting, what we like, what we don't like, and address it at that time.
Well, all the numbers are out, and this will be done by the end of the week. So while we can talk with Kelly and the school board about how this is going to get implemented, the introduction of amendments is tomorrow. The vote in EHE is Thursday, and it will probably be out of the Senate by the end of the week, if not the very first of next week, because they have to get it under the governor's desk by about the 24th or 25th of March. So these floor votes, I mean, it was in committees in the House last Tuesday, Wednesday, and it was done by Friday. So while I think that it's good for us to work through some of these things with them, as far as the funding piece of it, we can talk policy with them and how they're going to implement it and all of that. But as far as the funding policy, all I'm asking for tonight is to support a bill that gives us more state aid. And I can't imagine that you wouldn't be supportive of an amendment being offered that would help counties like Talbot with more state aid.
Okay. All right.
I see no reason to object. This is, you know, there's clearly a lot of, well, there's widespread acknowledgement that what we're doing in education needs to change. Maryland has commissioned an expert panel that has laid out a plan for how that is, and really the controversy in this is not what needs to be done, not how to go about this. The controversy really is entirely about how to pay for it. What Mrs. Price has been offering here and following very closely is that part of the legislation that has to do with not so much the content of what we need to do to fix education in Maryland, and to become a leader among states in this, but really how to figure out how to pay for it, how to proportion those costs appropriately, and in particular how those costs should be apportioned to the county. If the funding formula can be adjusted in a way that does not land so heavily on Talbot County, that seems to be would be something we ought to support.
Right. And if you remember, MACO's position was that the state should pay for all of Kirwan, that we didn't feel like the counties, because we are already funding over 50% of the total education cost, that MACO's position was that this new layer of Kirwan funding should fall squarely on the state, because they have the ability to do other, I mean, we saw the sales tax rise and fall last week during the same time period, but they have more room in their budgets if they, to shift some things around. We know, we just had a conversation on the, you know, on putting something on the ballot. We don't have anything that we can cut from our budget to help pay for this. So our only resource is to raise property taxes. And the numbers that after it passed on Friday are $69 million by 2030 for Talbot County, which is a 40-cent increase in the property tax rate. There's nothing we can do about that. The only thing that we can hope for is that we get some semblance of this amendment through. So maybe it takes it down to, you know, 65 or 64 million or something. But this amendment could mean millions of dollars additional in state aid, rather than having to put it squarely on our citizens' backs to pay for. We're still going to have to go up quite a bit, but we need to support this.
Who offered that amendment that was shot down?
So last week, Delegate Greist had one drafted. It never made it through. And so the only thing that they could do, and there were 16 or 17 or 18 amendments offered from the floor on Friday afternoon. Most of them were amendments that they had tried to draft in advance that leadership wouldn't allow to get through. So your last resort is to offer a floor amendment, and that was Delegate Jacobs. And so now the senators are revising that language, and the Senate is a much smaller body. It will at least get a debate. It'll get heard. It'll get discussed tomorrow. It's not like the leaders are going to say, no, you can't talk about this bill. The senators, it's a much smaller group of legislators. You don't have 140 some people. You have a much smaller group of senators, and each senator has the respect to be able to be heard. So I think it's important that those senators can say, we have the support of Talbot County, Worcester County, Kent County, Garrett County, all of those counties that would be able to benefit and change a very unfair wealth formula.
Anything additional? Questions? I haven't seen the amendment, so I'm not in a position to
So, Mr.
move at
Pack,
it. I'm just.
Mr. Pack,
but
let me
Ms. Price,
expl-
I'll let you speak.
I understand. Let me
I
explain
didn't say
something.
anything for the last 10 minutes. 10 minutes. I'm just giving
amendments have to go through
Ms.
committee
Price, I've given you
first
10
before you
minutes.
see the
I've
language.
given you 10 minutes, and I haven't said it. I didn't say a word.
Okay, so you don't support getting additional state aid. We heard
I haven't
you.
opened my mouth. 10 minutes. So I haven't seen it. I don't know whether maybe Mr. Lesher has. I haven't personally seen it, or nor have I talked to anyone. 10 minutes I gave
You won't see it till after
I have
committee
not.
tomorrow.
I have not. I did not interrupt you. I did not interrupt you. So this is just. I'm not in a position to vote tonight. We passed things over before. I'm not in a position to vote. If others are, that's fine. We have a second to the motion. I will be abstaining. I'm not in a position to vote tonight. That's it. That's just me. I just want to be on the record saying that. That's me. Madam Secretary, please call your roll.
Just want to clarify one thing. Understand that we're all still learning some more about the analysis
Absolutely.
process. But what I have learned, and we learned it on the chop tank bill, we're learning it on this bill, you can't see the official amendment language until it passes through the committee. So when the senator or the delegate introduces it in committee and it passes or fails from the committee, that's when that language actually becomes public. So you have to work off a draft. That is the way it works in Annapolis. We, the county council, will never, ever see amendment language before being asked to take a position on it, because that's how it works in committee. So, just so you understand that.
And I will say, thank you for that, Ms. Price. I will say that I certainly agree with the offer that was made by Dr. Salmon to hold a work session with the Board of Education on this. This is a very fluid.
Dr. Griffin.
Dr. Griffin. I said Dr. Salmon, didn't I? Thank you.
That'd be done.
The holding work session with Dr. Griffith and the Board of Education. This is a very fluid bill. We know it's been changed and it probably will change several more times before we have an actual final draft of it. I think sitting down with the Board of Education
This
and
is the
try.
third reader in my hand. It
Again,
will
Mr.
change
Price,
that.
if I could just get through my statement, I know that you have a lot to say. I certainly do welcome that opportunity, and hopefully we can make that happen sooner than later to have that discussion with them. That's all I have to say on it. Again, it's a very thick bill. A lot of changes been added to the bill. It's gone over to the House, has some amendments, probably will have additional more amendments to it. Hopefully we can have that sooner than later with the school board. With that being said, as the hour is now.
So Mrs. Price has made a motion, Mr. Lesher second?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Support the amendment
Call the
for the
vote.
median household income amendment.
Would you consider just sending a letter in support that they use median household income opposed
Sure,
to?
yeah, because we haven't seen the line. That's really all I'm asking for is we support a median household income amendment. It can be that simple.
Okay.
Couple sentences. Absolutely.
But you're supporting something that we haven't, and I don't think it's a matter of not supporting it. It's
So you just support it so that Senator Carrozza and Senator Edwards, when they go into committee, can say, I have a letter of support from this county. And do you think that this is on the media right now? Do you think if we don't support this?
I don't think it can be on the media all at once.
No,
I
I'm
don't
saying
think-
it will get to them and say, you don't even have a letter of support from your county that you're trying to help? And when Senator Eckerts gets into B&T and she wants to say, how is she going to defend the fact? I mean, this is really important. If you believe that we should get more state aid
I don't
based
think
on
they even asked us for a letter of support. If it was so important for them to get a letter of support from Talbot County, wouldn't they have reached out to us for that? They didn't ask us for a letter of support. So to say that they're going to go and say, didn't you get a letter? You didn't get a letter of support from a county that you were willing to help? When did they ask us?
Well, I'm
We
not
did-
going to disclose the
Well,
details of the last
we did
5
not
days.
get a request either in writing or verbally from them for a letter of support. So if that statement is
If
being,
this is the
if that
position you
statement
all
is
want to
raised,
take, go
you know,
for it.
I mean, you can't argue about, you can't say you didn't get it
All
if
we're
you didn't
saying,
ask for it.
do you
They
or
didn't ask for it.
Do you or do you not support an amendment that would make a median household income adjustment to give us more state dollars? Yes or no? That's all we need to say.
Okay, let's move the point forward. We have a motion and a second. Madam Secretary, please call your roll.
Mr.
I'll
Pack?
abstain.
Mr. DeVillio,
Aye.
Mr. Callahan?
I'm going to abstain.
Ms. Price?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Aye.
So you have the letter to be drafted on that.
And there's one more.